Hey guys, today I was out shooting and I decided to get the video camera out and share a shooting drill that I've learned over the years, and it's one that I can almost guarantee will make you a better shot. Um, and if any of you guys have dealt with target panic before, you've probably heard of blind bail shooting, and basically what that is you just draw back like you normally would and you anchor in, and you either have an open face target, a big target, why they call it a blind bail, or you just close your eyes and you're at close distance to your target, and basically all you're doing is working on your firing sequence, whatever method you do to make the shot fire instead of just punching the trigger. And you do that thousands and thousands of times, and it kind of takes the aiming part out of it, and you can really just focus on that firing sequence and making sure you're not developing any bad habits. And over time, that'll just get ingrained into your form, and it'll become second nature. So that's a really great drill. It can get you out of punching the trigger and fix a lot of bad habits that you develop over time in shooting. My drill is a little bit of a modification of that, and it kind of combines two things. It combines the blind bail shooting at the end, but at first when you draw back, you're also going to get an aiming portion of it. So basically all you do is you draw back and you anchor in like you normally would, and you just aim at the target, and it'll be surprising at first, especially if you do have target panic. If you haven't heard of target panic and you do this drill, if you do have it, you're going to know what it is as soon as you do this. And all you're going to do is just aim at the target and try to rest the pin right on the dot and just hold it there. Hold it for maybe 5 to 10 seconds and just see how steady you can hold it. And all you're doing is practicing aiming. You're getting the shot out of the equation, which is what leads to target panic. Basically, if you don't know, target panic is anything that kind of blocks you from making a good shot. It's a mental block after shooting thousands and thousands of shots. It can develop where basically your subconscious knows that when that pin hits the dot, something's going to release and there's going to be a jerk. And subconsciously your mind knows that, and it creates some sort of block where maybe you can't put the pin on the dot, and maybe you can't hold it there. A lot of times when people start doing this drill, if they just try to hold that pin on the target, they just freak out. And I'm not kidding. The first time you do this, you might get that pin on the target, and since you're not shooting, you might jerk and almost make the bow go off and almost let it down. You'll be very surprised if you do have a bad case of target panic, what can happen with that. So all you're doing is just taking that shot out of the equation, and you're just practicing aiming. And when you get that instinct of jerking and trying to fire right away out of your mind, it'll really be surprising if you do have a bad case of target panic how steady you can hold. And then it's just a matter of getting your mind out of it and getting into a perfect shot sequence. And then basically when you get done doing your 5 to 10 seconds of aiming, or however long you may want to aim, you don't want to do it too long. If you get really fatigued in that anchor position, you can start to develop bad habits there. So make sure you're keeping good form with this, and don't do too many reps of this, just enough to get your mindset right, I guess. But after you get done aiming, you're just going to do basically a blind bail routine. And rather than just letting the bow down and letting that go to waste, basically, you're just going to maybe close your eyes if you're up close, or just don't focus on aiming and just focus on squeezing the trigger or squeezing your back muscles and pulling through with the shot to get that surprise release. And just try to take your mind out of the equation so it'll be really repeatable in the long run. That's basically all this is. You just draw back, you aim at the target for 5 to 10 seconds, however long you want, and then you take your mind out of it and you release a shot. And you can do this at any distance, whatever you may be shooting at. But I'll tell you, if you go to long range and you just practice aiming for however many times you do it, when you come up close, you're going to just be amazed at how big that dot looks. And it's really going to make those hunting distances a lot easier if you do this drill at long range. And basically what I like to do is come out and maybe I do 3 to 5 of these shots before I get into actual shooting and trying to hit my spot. This really just kind of primes me and gets me ready to shoot, and it just lets me know. And obviously in a hunting situation you're not going to be able to do this, so maybe as you get closer to season you just start going a couple cold shots right away and just get those out of the way. But I still like to incorporate them just through the session of shooting. Maybe you notice you slam the trigger on one shot, or you rushed a shot or something like that, and you can do a couple of these and it should get your mind right back again. So I like to do a couple in the beginning, maybe a couple throughout if I start developing a bad habit or something, or whatever it may be. And then I like to end with a couple pretty much every shooting session. And it might seem dumb, I guess, you might seem irrelevant, but it really does help, and I encourage you guys to give this a shot if you're struggling, or maybe even if you aren't. It's just a good idea to give this a shot, and it can really help your shooting in the long run, just practicing aiming really, and practicing your firing sequence, and it just separates them from the same time, and you can really just hone in on both, and in my opinion it really helps. But anyway, that's going to conclude the video. If you guys give this a try, if you guys think this is helpful, make sure you comment down below and tell me how it worked for you. I know it really worked for Trevor and I to just get rid of some of the bad habits that we formed over years of shooting, and it'd be really interesting to see how it works for all of you guys that want to try this. So if you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It really helps the channel grow, and subscribe to see future content. Thanks.